Brothers Geek Out channel. This is a movie review for Expend4bles 4. Just got the opportunity to watch it, and I just wanted to kind of share my thoughts about it, give a little review on it, and it's decent. It's alright. I mean, look, if you're going to watch this movie for anything that makes sense, for some kind of award-winning story, for something that's supposed to be mind-blowing, then you're going to watch the wrong movie. If you're going to just watch just a plain old action movie, you know, almost 80s style, with cheesy lines and all that sort of stuff, some brutal killing in it, some fun nostalgia, and then that's the movie you're going to watch. But if you're looking for more, then it's not the movie for you. I don't think this movie will get, I don't know what the reviews are, but I don't know if it's going to get good ones. And I don't think the other ones did either. But it did have a massive cast in it, as always, right? You had Sylvester Stallone, Jason Statham, Dolph Lundgren, Megan Fox, Tony Jaa, Iko Uwais, Andy Garcia, 50 Cent, Randy Couture, the list goes on, Eddie Hall, Levy Tran, who else was in it? Who else do I recognize? Yeah, loads of people, man. There's a lot, tons, right? And it just made it for a fun action movie. Now, this is a spoiler review, so I'm going to spoil it. I mean, it's nothing really much to spoil in the sense of an action movie. Like, what I tell you what, first of all, like, if I was to compare it to modern day action movies, it's not one of the best, right? I think stuff like John Wick or Extraction takes the action to another level. If I compare it to the other Expendables, I would say it's the worst one out of all of them. Saying that, I went because it's the Expendables. It's just an enjoyable action movie. I wasn't gonna be like, oh my god, they didn't do this and they didn't do that. No. There's so many things you can fucking tear it apart about, which I will a little bit, but I'm just saying overall, like, I know what I went, I know what I expected to watch, and it was just an action movie. Now, the Expendables, for me, I always kind of compared it to the Avengers. It was just so much fun when it first came out, with the nostalgia of all these old school 80s and early 90s action stars just coming together in one movie. It was just absolutely amazing. I was always like, the Avengers coming together. It's freaking awesome. And that made it so much fun. It made it so much fun because we grew up with these guys, and this movie was just simple. Like, these guys just kicking ass, you know, blowing shit up and whatnot. Typical 80s style action and whatnot. Basic story, that's it. This one, I did think the nostalgia wasn't there as much, you know. Again, spoiler alert. Not many of the old school guys were there. Arnie wasn't there, Wesley Snipes wasn't there, Antonio Banderas wasn't there, you know. I guess his son was in it. Obviously Jet Li kicked out a while ago. Basically, in this one, again, spoiler alert, right? It's kind of like a handover to Jason Statham in one sense, but Stallone's character dies. Barney, he dies in the beginning, so it's almost like a revenge story. But Stallone, he didn't die. Barney didn't die. At the end, it was all this reveal that he didn't die and whatnot. It was just an ultimate plan to relieve, or what is that story? What's that the word? Like, he's trying to resolve. Oh shit, I can't even figure the fucking word, man. He basically faked his death, so the person that he's looking for the last 25 years, which is Andy Garcia's character, someone called Ocelot, reveals himself. That's what I was trying to say. So it was a plan, an ultimate plan. You know, when he died, you just knew he's not dead. Like, oh shit, okay, he's not dead. I wonder when he's coming back. Like, you understood that, right? So there was that, but it was cool. It was fine for this movie and whatnot. You know, Megan Fox was in it, Levy Tran, and, you know, they were pointless. They all, you know, Megan Fox, respect, whatnot. She's absolutely stunning, but it was, again, you're not here to watch a believable movie, but it was just so basic that she ended up becoming the leader of the Expendables and whatnot. She just doesn't suit that role. In the previous movies, it's not about female or whatnot. You had like Ronda Rousey and all these other characters who were badass, be it MMA fighters or boxers or whatever it is, right? And you're like, oh, okay, cool, that kind of makes sense. But with Megan Fox, who's absolutely stunning in every single scene, you don't look like an expendable at all. So I mean, you kind of lost a bit of nostalgia there for me. But again, it doesn't make sense. It's just an action movie and whatnot. So just throwing it out there. That I was just like, that was just very, very, very pointless. And then, you know, when they thought Barney died, Stallone's characters died, you would have thought all the other Expendables would show up. You know, Terry Cruz's character wasn't there. Like I said, Wesley Snipes, Arnie's character wasn't there. You know, we didn't get a cameo of a and not that you're expecting it all the time, but like a Chuck Norris or whatnot. Considering the friendship he has with this whole group of Expendables in the previous movies and whatnot. So none of that was there. However, you know, so again, it's an action movie. We're not expecting much from it. But, you know, it still had jokes in it. It still had some funny relationship building and stuff between the characters and everything. I do say Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais, I think, stole the show for me. Like they were new action elements to the movie. Like I know Megan Fox was in it and she was just absolutely stunning, and that was it. But in regards to action and whatnot, Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais stole the show for me. Even this brother here, what's his name? Darren Knopp. Never heard of him before, but he was in it. He was like Iko's right hand man. He was pretty good. 50 Cent was alright, you know, nothing special from him. Excuse me while I sip my tea. You know, I like the little jokes about Randy Couture's ears. They brought that back. You know, he has cauliflower ears from wrestling, or you know, these little things were back. Dolph Lundgren had long hair, but you could tell the old guys are getting old. You know, I think they were just trying to express that in this movie. The old guys are slowly gonna have to move out. And whatnot, and let in for the new guys, which ain't a bad thing, but also, you know, that was the whole nostalgia of the movie. That's why I loved it so much, and I still kind of do. You know, these old school guys just bringing it back. But you know, the movie was short and sweet, which is great. Like, especially with this one, it's like you don't want anymore. The action wasn't like, you know, revolutionary or whatnot. I mean, I think the martial arts for Tony Jaa and Iko Uwais was great. And Jason Statham, he's really good as well. But the action wasn't like revolutionary. It wasn't the next level. It wasn't an Extraction where you get like a 10-minute long action scene, one-shot scene, or a John Wick where you got this amazing art of gun fu and whatnot. But, you know, it was old school style, and I don't think they're going for that, to be honest with you. I don't think those Expendable movies will actually ever go in for that sort of new age action. It was just that old school 80s action. One guy with a machine gun just blows the shit out of everyone and just kills everyone, and that was kind of Jason Statham in this movie. So yeah, you know, overall, like I say, I think it's definitely worth a watch. If you're into the action movies and you just want to enjoy that, cool, no problem at all. You will go there, you will sit there, and you will enjoy it for that. If you compare it to the other Expendables, it's the worst one out of all of them, which is fine. That doesn't really bother me too much. Yeah, that's about it, you know. I mean, look, I don't know if they're going to do more. I haven't heard anything if they're going to do more. Maybe if they were going to hand it over, maybe they could have had a good death for Stallone. Or even the older characters, slowly kill them off and whatnot, rather than them just disappearing. I mean, you would have thought Arnie and them would have showed up, especially because they all thought Barney died, but no one showed up. So, you know, maybe, I guess for Stallone as well, if you're handing it over, cool. And if you get like people like The Rock involved and Jason Momoa and whoever, you know, like maybe kill off the older guys and in a more of an emotional sense. When Stallone's character died, Barney Ross died, I was like, he's not dead. Like, you just knew there was no emotion behind it. So, you know, I don't know where they're taking this. I mean, obviously it is a franchise, they could do more with it, but I think it worked when you had the old school guys there and it was just like an old school 80s action movie. That works. When you're filling up with new school people and it's old school action 80s style stuff, it's like, I just don't see it. So yeah, you know, that was my thoughts on it. But again, it's just an action movie. There's nothing spectacular to it, so don't expect too much. So yeah, just wanted to give you my thoughts on it. Go watch it if you're a fan of the other ones and you've seen them. Go watch it if you're an 80s action movie fan. Go watch it if you're trying to sit back and get away from the world and just get lost in action. Don't expect nothing special from it. If you're expecting something special, don't watch it. That'd be a wrong move to make. Alright, on that note, just wanted to give you my thoughts on the movie and I'm out. Peace.